Whatever you're doing right now, drop it, because it is not as important as the Spider-Man 4 news we've been getting today, because after all these years of dead silence just waiting for any kind of confirmed news about the film, earlier today at CinemaCon, Sony dropped the bombshell that Spider-Man 4 is officially going to be titled Spider-Man Brand New Day, and let me tell you, I think that is the perfect title you could give this movie. I'm so excited over the mere fact that this movie has a title, so I had to drop everything and make a video about this real quick, because there's a lot more than just a title reveal we've gotten today that makes me think we might actually be getting a street-level Spider-Man film, and I am over the moon about that. But let's all just take a second to admire this logo real quick, because it is gorgeous. As a big logo nerd myself, I really appreciate what they're doing here and bringing back that nostalgic Spider-Man logo that I remember seeing in all of Scott Johnson's iconic Spider-Man art that I grew up with everywhere on all the merchandise. So I absolutely love to see that logo being repurposed here. It already gives the movie such a classic nostalgic Spider-Man feeling from vibes alone, but with the bright red and blue colorization, it gives it this fresh modern tone that goes a very long way in making it feel like we're truly entering a new era of Spider-Man storytelling. And I love the specific shades of red and blue that they're using for this logo, because it's very reminiscent of the new suit that they got at the end of the film, and it gives me a lot of faith that we're going to see that suit return again for this movie, which I need more than anything. There's a lot of news outlets going around reporting that Spider-Man is going to have a new suit in the movie, which I don't really understand because the full quote they're referencing doesn't mention that anywhere. So I'm very happy to just see even the slightest hint that we're going to be seeing the best live-action Spider-Man suit of all time return. And then obviously the big news we're all going to be talking about is the fact that the subtitle is Brand New Day. One little detail I really like here is the fact that it's using the old font logo as the subtitle here. While we might be embracing this big, bold Spider-Man font from the past, we're still bringing forward that old logo in that small way, and I think it's a nice little detail like that. Obviously, I think a lot of people are going to jump to the idea that they're adapting the Brand New Day story arc from the Spider-Man comics, but I honestly think that's highly unlikely. To me, it's very similar with what they're doing in Daredevil Born Again, where they're repurposing that story title for the show in a sort of meta context to where it's a brand new day for Spider-Man as we're entering this new era of storytelling, and we're going to be seeing Peter embark in this new life. And also considering the fact that No Way Home very, very loosely adapted the much maligned One More Day storyline, and Brand New Day followed that up in the comics. So it's kind of like an homage in that sense. I'm not gonna lie to you, I've never read that comic arc, mostly because of the fact that I've heard it's not very good from a lot of people, but I think taking that subtitle is the best possible choice they could have made. It is the perfect way to set the tone and kick off this new era of Spider-Man in the MCU, and fully embrace that blank slate they've been given at the end of No Way Home, and I'm very confident that they're gonna be embracing that fresh start and doing it justice, because when Tom Holland introduced the title at CinemaCon, he said, Spider-Man Brand New Day is a fresh start. It is exactly that. That's all I can say. So he not only said it's a fresh start, but he heavily emphasized it, so I doubt we're going to be going back to any multiversal nonsense like that, and that is all for the better. And I know a lot of people are still rightfully concerned about it being a Venom crossover and stuff like that, but here's the thing. Earlier today, Tom Hardy said in an interview that the Venom and Spider-Man movie is not going to be happening. The exact quote says that they got as close as you could possibly imagine getting, apart from doing the film together, but it fell apart due to studio politicking, and thank God for that. No offense to Tom Hardy, his freaky little Venom absolutely makes those movies work as well as they do, but I have no interest in seeing a multiversal Spider-Man and Venom team-up movie. It would go against the ending of No Way Home, as they promised this grounded street-level narrative, and that is exactly what I want to see in this film, especially considering the fact that Destin Daniel Cretton is the perfect director to take over Spider-Man from here on out. You could not find someone that understands the character more than him, who is also an immensely talented filmmaker. When he got on stage at CinemaCon to talk about the film, he said something really powerful that really stuck with me and proved once again that he knows what he's talking about when it comes to this character, when he described Spider-Man's character as his imperfect, messy humanity. And that is the best possible way anyone could talk about Spider-Man. It shows me that beyond a shadow of a doubt, this man knows what he's doing and he wants to do this character justice. I mean, come on. Destin confirmed that his son's first words were Spider-Man because of how many comics he was reading at the time. This man is a fan of Spider-Man through and through, and that makes me so happy to see someone that is incredibly passionate about this character. Not only is he one of my all-time favorite directors, he has never made a bad film. I encourage you all to go watch Short Term 12. It is an absolute masterpiece, and in my top 5 favorite films of all time, I cry like a baby every time I watch it. It is so powerful, and if he brings even a fourth of that emotion into this film, I think we could be in for an all-timer, and judging by his words here, he honestly might. He also went on to say that he's spending his time exploring the next stage of this amazing character with a team of the most incredible artists in the world, and how they're all just daily nerding out over the suit, how to swing, how to create an event, an emotional story, and a ride that we haven't really seen before. In the most vague sense, that is the perfect synopsis for what I want this movie to be. The fact that the entire team is geeking out behind the scenes about how cool the suit looks is an incredible sign to me that we have the most passionate people working on this movie. And it's only 3 words of that quote, but the fact that they're already thinking about how to swing with Spider-Man gives me so much hope and faith that we're going to finally return to form and see these breathtaking Spider-Man swinging scenes in live action. As much as I love the Tom Holland films, and he is my favorite Spider-Man by far, the swinging scenes are not up to par with what they did in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, for example. So Destin already trying to figure out how they can do this gives me more hope than ever that we're going to see some truly dynamic swinging scenes, especially considering the fact that this is the guy who directed Shang-Chi, which has some of the best choreography in not just any Marvel movie, but any blockbuster in the last decade. If he can find a way to transfer that fluidity from the fight scenes over into the swinging scenes and the way that Peter uses his webs, we could be in for an all-timer. I need Sony to just back away and let this man cook because he might be the one. I will sing his praises day in and day night. He is by far one of the best choices who could take over as Spider-Man, and we are all better off for it. And with Tom saying that it is a fresh start, and Destin saying that it's a ride we haven't really seen before, I have never been more confident in my life that we are moving towards taking Spider-Man in the street-level direction Kevin Feige promised all those years ago that they've clearly been trying to set this character up for. The reference to him in Daredevil Born Again is not a coincidence. This character is clearly being set up for a confrontation with the Kingpin, and I am just begging that this movie sets that up, especially considering the fact that during the Avengers Doomsday announcement, Tom Holland was not confirmed for the film. And while they're still yet to confirm a lot of people for that movie, I honestly think that he won't be in it, and Brand New Day could be this Ant-Man and the Wasp scenario where we see Peter on this adventure while all the other characters are off fighting White Doctor Doom, and then a post-credit scene can rope him into Secret Wars, but as long as it leaves him untouched for this film, and they can capitalize off the perfect ending and setup No Way Home did, we could be in for a treat. Talking about Spider-Man 4 basically launched this channel when I made that pitch over a year ago on why this movie should be street level, and ever since then we've gotten so many different updates about the film that I've lost track completely. But where we stand now, looking at all the news we're getting, all the different quotes we're getting from directors and actors, it really seems like we're taking this character back to basics and finally putting that classic fully formed Spider-Man I've been dying to see for so long on the silver screen. And that is the most exciting prospect ever to me. We've come so far from being worried about those Battleworld rumors and Null being involved and stuff I just have no interest in at all, to now we're getting rumors about Chameleon being the villain of this film, which I think would be the coolest thing ever. A story about Peter struggling with losing his identity, all while the villain is someone who can take on any identity, would hit so hard. I know Jeff Snyder is my enemy, so we have to take everything he says with a grain of salt, but I need this to be one of those times the broken clock is right, because that is such a peak idea, and if they can find a way to bring it to life, it not only solidifies this movie as a street-level film, but it takes it in a bold new direction that explores Peter at his lowest mental state. Imagine him having to work through this murder mystery with the Chameleon, his growing frustration as he can't find this guy because he can turn into anyone. That sounds incredible to me, and is the exact kind of direction I want this movie to go. And then you can have Peter do all of his Secret Wars stuff, and then come back and we can finally get that Daredevil team up in Spider-Man 5. God, I have the biggest smile on my face right now. I really used to pray for times like this. I have been begging to see this kind of Spider-Man storytelling done in live action, and now we're on the cusp of it, where now we're only a year away from seeing him make his grand return after what'll have been 5 years at that point, as he finally starts his brand new day and we enter this new chapter of his life. Spider-Man fans are eating good right now, especially considering the fact that we just got a release date and some gorgeous stills for Beyond the Spider-Verse, a movie that's actually going to be happening. It's kind of crazy that they said this movie would be out in 2024. I don't know what they were cooking then, but they can take as long as they want because we have so much great Spider-Man stuff to look forward to, and I am beyond excited. They're clearly capitalizing on all the storytelling potential. Destin Daniel Cretton is an incredible director who knows how to direct action and emotional storytelling, and Tom Holland has promised a movie that the fans want to see, and is doing everything he can as someone involved in the creative process to bring that to life. I have put my full faith in this movie. There is no way they can screw this up unless Sony just interfere like a madman, but I'm not even going to think about that right now. I just want to ride this high about finally feeling like Spider-Man 4 is in a good place for once. All I ask for them is to not stick to the same subtitle for every single movie again. It was a cute idea for the Home trilogy, but they kind of had to force it in there with titles like Far From Home and No Way Home. In a perfect world, they would introduce the symbiote suit in this first movie without without diving too much into the symbiotic nature of it and just give Peter this black costume, it is the only thing I will be okay with them replacing that gorgeous blue and red suit with. And then he wears it throughout the entire trilogy. And then instead of being forced to stick to a naming convention like Spider-Man Have a Nice Day, we can get Spider-Man Brand New Day, Spider-Man Devil's Reign, and then Spider-Man The Enemy Within to wrap up this black suit saga with the big Venom movie where Marvel can introduce their own Eddie Brock instead of having to be tied to that Sony universe. Because my motto in life is that the less spum you have in your life, the better. God, I don't think I'm going to be able to sleep tonight. I'm just so hyped and excited for the future of Spider-Man. It's funny because the next video on this channel is already finished and is ready to be published on Saturday, and it's about Spider-Man 4. So this is set to be a huge week for Spider-Man storytelling on the channel. Just please bear with me with that next video because it's probably going to be out of date, but I've already wrapped production on it, so we can't touch it. I'm going to do the responsible thing now and stop myself from yapping too much so I can get to editing this video right away. So I'm going to go ahead and end things there. Thank you all for watching. Please make sure to let me know down below what your thoughts are on Spider-Man Brand New Day being the official title of Spider-Man 4. I would genuinely love to hear what everyone has to say and continue the conversation down below. And while you're at it, you may as well give the video a like and subscribe so you don't miss the next one. If you don't do it, I'm going to walk into Sony offices and force them to make this a multiverse movie. So please just subscribe so I don't have to do that because it will hurt me so much to do.